Good afternoon, folks. I'm sorry, I thought I was all the way live. I wasn't. We're in the process of doing Agnihotra. I will make the offering in about 45 seconds. When I make the offering, we'll sit for about 5 minutes, let the fire go out, meditate, pray, go inside, do affirmations like that. And when we come back out, I'll explain again about what Agnihotra is and why we do it. And we have about
25 seconds.
25 seconds. Eighteens, 15s.
12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Prajapataye swaha, Prajapataye idam namama. Welcome to our live presentation of Agnihotra for the spring equinox. We will be providing this live presentation for 7 days honoring the changing of seasons, the spring equinox. My apologies, I didn't press the last button but I will explain again what Agnihotra is. Agnihotra is purification of the atmosphere. That negates pollution, calms the mind. Purification of the atmosphere through the agency of fire. Fire is the great transformer on our planet. Many folks say it's been responsible for our civilization, although I'm not sure all of us are civilized all the time, but you know, fire has definitely given us a boost in our lifestyles. This Agnihotra fire is done at sunrise and sunset, which is the central biorhythm for this planet. So today, where I am, the sunset was 7:15 and 17 seconds. No doubt it's different where you are. The good news is there's an app, a website, Agnihotra.org, where you can go on anytime, put in your information, and it will tell you exactly what time Agnihotra goes where you are. Or through the app, you can download Agnihotra Buddy, an app that you can take with you anywhere and anytime know exactly what time Agnihotra goes in your space, wherever you are. So it's what you burn, it's what time you burn, I could say the central biorhythm for the planet. It's what you burn, which is cow dung, dried cow dung. And the third piece is a Sanskrit mantra. A Sanskrit mantra. Sanskrit is known as the language that is the basis for most Indo-European languages. It was reportedly heard by seers. It has very high vibration. All energy has sound to it. And sound is the voice, the music of the universe. So when you say that Vedic mantra, when you burn the cow dung and do it at exactly sunrise, it has a change in the atmosphere. And that atmosphere shifts and purifies the prana. Prana is life energy, which is also known in other cultures as chi, as into, but everything that's material, physical on this planet is ultimately energy. And this process helps to purify that energy so it can function in its highest state. We currently live, excuse my language, in a dirty fishbowl it's full of pollutions. Industrialization has spread pollution all over the planet, and it costs all of us in terms of our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. This process helps to clean the atmosphere. And as the prana is purified, prana and mind are like two sides of the same coin. As the prana is purified, the mind begins to settle. When the mind begins to settle, it goes deeper. In today's world, it's very easy, and many of us live on the surface of our minds. We're overstimulated and undernourished. Saying the average one of us sees 4,000 to 10,000 commercials a day. Just attempts to feed us and to control how we think. Because the mind is like a computer. Whatever goes in will come out one way or another. So, this process helps to settle the mind so you can go deeper and get off the surface of the mind. the mind, by today's research, and it's changed in the last 15 years, today's research says that the mind is 95% unconscious and 5% conscious. Used to be 15 to 85. Now it's 95 and 5. Because of our lifestyles, more and more of us live basically unconsciously most of the time. But this process helps us to be able to go deeper in our minds. And when we go deeper, we can access deeper mind waves. You know, the mind waves that most of us live in daily are beta and gamma. And when we're feeling real good, you know, we're dancing or having sex or eating food that is enticing for us. When we're doing those things, we may go into alpha, or we call it in the flow state. But the deeper mind waves, delta and theta, where we can really begin to do some introspection, where we can really get in touch with our deeper selves, with universal consciousness, and really rest. Most of us don't access them. Through this process and some focus on some mindfulness activities and principles and processes, you can actually access those deeper mind waves and go deeper in yourself, where there is more peace, where there is happiness, where there is joy, and where we're more able to actualize your potential, your vision for health and well-being on the planet. So this process is a very ancient process. In my understanding, it was done all over the planet at times by special people in all kinds of cultures. But over time, it was kind of pulled back, because being as creative as we can be sometimes, we started adding other things to the fire other than what was prescribed, including animals and in some cultures even people. And of course that had the exact opposite effect. But about 75 or 100 years ago, this process was revived and given to householders, to anybody who wants to use it, to counteract the effect of all the pollution that's happening worldwide. And it's an aid to one's development, regardless of what religion, spiritual path, or belief system you have. I have personally known Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, Yorubas, atheists who've used this and felt good about their results. There's been research done all over the planet, and seeing that the residue, that the process helps to purify the waters, purifies air, and purifies the soil. And there's research that's been done in Europe and Asia, and more recently we've even done some experiments right here in the United States to see how it affects mental and emotional well-being. Matter of fact, right here in Baltimore, about 3 years ago, we did some research, and what we did, we took two groups. We had a control group of folks who were doing martial arts, meditation, yoga, doing some real positive stuff on a regular basis. And we took another group and had them start doing Agnihotra for 2 weeks. And then compared the results. Everybody took a wellness exam every week, and they took a Beck's depression scale. And what we saw real clearly, that there were some differences, positive differences of people who did Agnihotra. you want to check that out, that study is published on Academia, and it's on the Agnihotra and wellness, like that. Mm-hmm. And more studies are in the mix. Because again, Agnihotra was given publicly for the times that we live in. We're living in the time of great transition on this planet. Many of us believe we're at the end of an era. When I say that, what I mean, we've, heard of Greece and Rome and Egypt and Babylon, all these great civilizations that existed for a while, and then they folded, reportedly due to corruption from within. Well, some of us believe that we're in that same situation right here in the United States. The difference is that the whole world is involved, because the world is so intricately connected now that whatever happens to any part of it happens to all of it. And to a large degree, the mindsets and practices that have dominated a lot of this current society worldwide has not been focused primarily on taking care of people, but more on power and wealth, those kind of things. We'll talk about some of that at a later point. The point is that we could all use a process that helps us to go deeper inside, to focus on our essence. Each one of us was born to do something specific to aid the development of society, of culture, of our families. Each one of us has gifts, but it involves us knowing who we are. And we have to do a little work to do that. Because there's those central questions. Who am I really? What am I doing here? Why did the universe make me like it's made me? I'm good at this, not so good at this, really motivated by this. What is it that I'm supposed to bring to the party? That's an existential question, set of questions that are in all of us. And what's the saying? Be still and know. When we take some time and learn to be still, to focus, to go deeper inside, to touch our essence, we get clearer about some of those things. We start to access deeper brainwaves. Right now, most of us are overstimulated. We see 4,000 to 10,000 commercials a day, 4,000 to 10,000 sophisticated attempts to control how we think, how we spend our resources, what we believe. So this process can help us to settle so we can be still and know. And so we can get off the surface of our minds, get out of those beta and gamma brain waves that are, they have their place, but when we stay in them all the time, they don't nurture us. Then after those beta and gamma, there's the alpha, the alpha waves when you dance like nobody's watching, or you're playing sports, you're not even thinking, you're just, doing it, just moving through the process. All of that's good, but we really begin to be nurtured emotionally, spiritually, even mentally, when we can access the deeper ones, the delta and the theta brainwaves. And again, that takes some effort, some practice to learn how to be still, And they not only give us connection to the larger universe, help us to understand ourselves better, but they help us to really rest, really rest and relax when we enter those deeper states of consciousness. So this process and some of the principles and tenets that I'm going to talk about in addition every night actually helps us to get there. And like I said, you know, it's up to you to choose, you know, what you do. This process will help you understand how to take care of yourself, how to nurture yourself, how to go deeper. But it's your choice as to how and if you implement it like that. So we will do this for 7 days. And included in the process, we'll talk some about what we call the Fivefold path, which are the tenets, the principles, the practices that go with this. So Agnihotra is what we call a yajna or a homa. They're not the only fires, but they're the ones that are considered most potent and readily available to anyone at any time. So we start with Agnihotra, purification of the atmosphere using fire. And then there's what's called dana. Dana is sharing of assets in the spirit of humility. Sharing of assets in the spirit of humility. It starts with the assumption that nothing belongs to any of us. We all came here with empty arms, and we're going to leave here the same way. What we do have the responsibility to do is to share what we have responsibly. Responsibly. What do I mean by that? So, you know, when I was teaching at the university, I would go down one of our main strips on a regular basis, and a lot of folks would be out there panhandling like that. And I would just keep some change in the car and just give it out at every corner, give some people a little bit of money or whatever. And then I realized something. I wasn't helping. Some people were out there every day, and some of them appeared to be intoxicated and whatever. I said, wait a minute, giving these people money this way may not be helping them. So I stopped doing that. I will still give people money or offer it to them like that. If I'm feeling it, if I'm feeling intuitively that it will help them, I would do that. But I have to do it in a responsible way. If not, I'm contributing to their demise or lack of health. So Agnihotra and dana are considered material aids. Material aids. Agnihotra certainly to the physical body, to the mind, like that, and dana to our sense of well-being and our ability to be prosperous, to take care of ourselves. Because the way dana works, the subtle part is what you give out, you get back in a larger quantity than what you give out. When you give it out with an open heart, you give it out responsibly and without fanfare. Because, I mean, I've also, you know, no hating, but, you know, it's different if you go to church and you're making your donations, and on the wall they got, you know, a thing about who gave what, when, and where. Well, you're getting your reward there. So that's something different. But part of dana is the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing. It's done anonymously or quietly, but it's sharing. Now, when I think about dana, sometimes I think though, if we all practice that, what would that mean? Wow. I mean, that would mean we wouldn't have 40,000 people a day dying of malnutrition and hunger on this planet. That means we would be sharing resources with each other in a way that included everybody, and that this thing of individual ownership would be minimized and collective responsibility would be maximized. So, the point is, as Sri Vasant, who brought these processes to the United States in 1973, said, be your own scientist. Check it out for yourself. Do your own experiment. And just, with Agnihotra, with Dana, whatever, and just see what you get back. See what kind of feedback it gives you in the process. What else? I told you about the Agnihotra ash. I wanted to talk to ash. This ash is very special. Like I said, we don't use chemicals when we farm. We have a whole farming technique that we use the ash in the soil. It enhances the soil. This ash has all 52 elements in the periodic table are in the ash. People also take the ash and we'll put it in water and drink it. Some of us take it daily, a couple, tablespoons of it daily to improve our immune system. It is full of nutrients. I was dealing with one of my farming mentors recently, and she used some ash in the raised beds we developed outside, and she was thoroughly impressed of how fast and how well the crops grew. Because again, it's purified energy that is stored in this ash. Just myself, what I know is if you have a cut and take a little bit of ghee and ash and put it on there, it takes care of it. I've known people who've healed serious wounds with this. So it's a medicinal product, if you will. I see there's a lot of questions and comments. Anything you need to particularly address?
Let's see. Just in terms of people really enjoying what you're saying, they caught some of it. I don't see. Just people, Stephanie Nails Khan and Dakar is watching.
Okay. So
and Gregory Carter is watching. Delicia Casey Pack, Rashad Brown, Adrian Moore, Andrea Anderson, John Chambers,
Paula
Brooks. Yeah.
So folks from all over checking in.
Tamika Fuller.
So we talked about Yajna, which is Agnihotra, Dana, and the third aspect of this process is Tapa. Tapa means self-discipline. And so talked about, how much we are overstimulated and programmed by society. We start to heal and grow when we become intentional. When we decide what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. We're creatures of habit. The only issue are our habits going to be healthy or unhealthy? Are they going to be decided by society or by ourselves? Again, this process will help us to settle and give us more agency, but then we have to make some decisions. And as I see it, human beings, the one thing that we get is free will, freedom of choice. when we can say, I will do this, I won't do that. And it's a science and an art. It's a science and an art, you know. I mean, many of us have said, you know, the first of the year, I'm going to eat this way and I'm going to go to the gym this way and do this and do that. And that lasts for, you know, 4 or 5 days. But there's a science to doing this. And one of the things that you want to do is to do things gradually in steps. Anytime you do what you say you're going to do, no matter how small the step, it's going to increase your willpower. And vice versa, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, see you later, and I have no intentions of seeing you, that decreases it. And as the Sufis say, will is all the power that there really is. Yes, ma'am.
We've got a testimony from Stephanie Agnihotra Bliss. She says she recently had...
Yeah, I don't know if people can hear you. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
You want to...
Oh, Stephanie. Yes, hey, Stephanie. I recently had a streaming water burn on my foot and used blessed ash and aloe plant, and it was healed within a day. Never blistered, no pain currently. This was 3 days ago. Yes, it's excellent for burns and cuts and such. Mm-hmm. So when we think about self-discipline, we think about tapa, there are 6 areas that particularly we want to look at. 6 areas. We call them the 6 deadly passions or the 6 desires. Anger, lust, greed, pride, envy, and attachment. Anger, to me, is the most toxic energy on the planet. If you can allow somebody to make you angry enough, long enough, no matter how righteous the anger, you will self-destruct. Because anger is toxic. It will eat you from within, mentally, physically. As a mental health professional, psychologist, work with people all the time. Yeah, you've been injured. Stuff has happened to you. The issue is learning how to accept the lessons and release the pain. But when you hold on to it as anger, you just give it more power and it eats you up in so many different ways. We'll talk more about that in detail. Then there's lust. When I say lust, I'm not just talking about out of control sex. We're talking about out of control eating and shopping too much and talking too much. All those habits that have us in control of us rather than us being in charge of them. So it's about learning to be in charge of oneself and be deliberate, intentional, and consistent about what you have in your life. And that even goes to your mental stuff, you know, because we all have those voices in the back, you know, from other times and places and other experiences, and all of them are not positive. And sometimes the topper might be, I'm just going to affirm instead of accepting that negative. I can, I'm not, I won't, whatever to say. I am light. I am love. I am grateful. Just affirm. Because whatever you focus on, whatever you affirm, you bring it closer to you. Like I said, it's like a computer. The mind is like a computer. Whatever you put in is what goes out. So that what you want to do is be more intentional about what you put in. That means the kind of music you listen to. That means the kind of television you watch. That means the kind of food you eat. You know, the kind of conversations you indulge in. Again, you may not be able to change everything at one time, but we all have something to work on. Life is a school. Life is a school, and we all have something to learn. My theory, if you don't have anything to learn, we'll know, because you'll spontaneously combust and disappear, because there's no point in you being here. But if you're here, that means you have something to work on. So that's two: anger, lust, greed. You've heard of greed, right? Greed. The more you get, the more you want. And there's never enough. I don't want to get into politics, but I heard Joy Reid the other day on social media, and she was talking about how so many of the very rich folks don't think that there should be income taxes or supplements for people who are poor and whatever, Medicare and Medicaid and all those kind of things. And I'd never thought of it that way, but that was real shocking. That was real shocking. At the same time, most of them, their goal is to get more money and more power. I mean, there are ones that are very people who are wealthy, who are very generous and very compassionate. But I'm saying greed is very seductive. And I'm not just talking about the super wealthy. I'm talking about all of us have some things where greed may come out. Again, whether it's at the table or if it's about attention, whatever. We all can be seduced by greed if we're not vigilant. Pride. Pride. Oh, it's all about me. Is it really? Most of us do better when we get out of our own way, and when there is humility, when we submit to being a part of something larger in the universe. What it said, my will or thy will, we do better when we're working on thy will. Envy, colloquially we call it hating. When you're looking at somebody else's apparent success or whatever, and you're being jealous, It's subtle, but it's there so often. I didn't recognize this first before I started really maturing a little bit and say, okay, it's there so often. Rather than wishing the person well, we can very easily get into hating or envy. And then the last one is attachment. Attachment. This is subtle, but anything that we're attached to has power over us. Whether it's name or fame, whether it's wealth, whether it's relationships, whether it's status, whatever it is, we have to be careful to appropriately, systematically, and consistently work to get freed from those passions, or they will take over our lives. And we call that what? We call that addictions. And addictions are not just about drugs and alcohol. Addictions start with the way we think. And quite honestly, addictions are our way of trying to escape discomfort or pain or uncertainty or whatever. But when we can learn to deal with our addictions and systematically use TAPA, self-discipline, we can change our course of action. And each one of us has some experience with that. I mean, you can't get through school without some discipline. You can't work a job without some discipline. You can't do a relationship without some discipline. It may not be where you need it to be, but any achievement in life requires some self-discipline. So we all have had some experience, whether it's playing sports or being creative or whatever. We've all had some experience about it. Again, it's about doing it more consistently and systemically so we can move to be the person that we want to be and to be in charge of ourselves and our habits rather than have them be in charge of us. So we'll go over those and other things more in detail, but I just wanted to give you a little sample. This process of Agnihotra with Dana and Tapa will help you to be stronger, to be more focused, to be more aware as you are about your self-growth. Two more pieces real quick. Yajna, Dana, Tapa, then there's karma. Now, many people think of karma as punishment. Karma speaks about the order of the universe, the order of the universe. And what karma says is whatever you put out, you get back. Whether it's in that 95% that's unconscious, but whatever you focus on, at some level, you're going to get something back that represents that. Because life is it's teaching us all the time, it's instructing us, and so it's giving us feedback. So you can eat whatever you want to eat, okay? But there's going to be some responses to it. You can think whatever you want to think, but life is going to give you some responses to it. You can not deal with your emotions, but there's going to be a response to that that's going to affect your well-being. So karma is about right thought, right speech, right action. Right thought, right speech, and right action. And who determines what's right? You do. And how you see that may change, because in each stage of development, our insight, our awareness may shift, and that's part of being human. But the issue is to make the best effort you can to have right thought, right speech, and right action. Mm-hmm. Rather than looking at what's wrong, looking at what's right. The last piece I already spoke on a little bit, Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is about self-study. Self-study, those existential questions. Say, who am I? I know some people call me Doc, some call me Hank, some call me MF. Who am I really? Mm-hmm. Why did the universe make me like it made me? And what's my purpose? What am I supposed to bring to the party? What are my gifts to creation, to the larger community? So we'll go over those in different contexts and more in the next 6 days. And if you have any questions, we'll open it up and make sure we try to address some of those as we go along and go deeper into this process. And we're going to make sure we go over some mindfulness techniques that will help you to actually meditate and go deeper to take advantage of this Agnihotra fire. Okay? So we'll meet you here again tomorrow at 7. So blessings, take care of yourself, and have a good evening. Take care.